Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, and I know I'm biased because I'm a Northwest guy, but I will take a Northwest guy over somebody from another area any day of the week because I just think they're tougher. I just think they're tougher guys.
I think that's one of the best things about baseball is it still is a way that you can really develop toughness and develop loyalty and all those kinds of things that we want out of young men in particular.
Welcome to the Pacific Northwest Fungo Banter podcast, where we highlight all of the great coaches of the Pacific Northwest. Now, here are your hosts, Eric Sorensen, Jason Jarrett, and Kelly Gow.
Hello, fellas. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest Fungo Banter podcast, live edition. We figured out where the live button was, guys. That's pretty awesome.
Really doing it. We are actually going live. Unbelievable.
We better, before we kick off whatever baseball talk we're going to do, we better thank our sponsors. Big shout to Safeguard out of the Tri-Cities. They got this nice little thing here that if you sign up for the Coaches Clinic, you're going to get yourself one of these. Oh, that's all I'm going to show. That's all I'm going to show. And they made it. It was awesome. They have all of our stuff. Thank you to Max BP with us since last year, the number one training tool on the market. And we're repping the shirt tonight. And a big thing, frost gear. It's colder than heck outside. We need it in the Northwest. Top Tier Sports, Kelly's new gig, man. They're putting on tournaments left and right. They're already kicked off the season, right, Kel? Last weekend in Chehalis?
Indoor tournament weekend 2, number 2 already.
2.
Keep into it.
That's great. Welcome to all of our watchers, listeners out there. Please feel free to comment. Send us some questions our way. Make fun of our whatever. Hopefully you get to see Kelly's cat tonight as we talk about it all the time on our episode. We really don't have, I don't know. We do have a plan. We're going to talk some baseball. We're going to have some people show up along the way. Some guests. Some pop-in guests for our podcast. Is going to be kind of magical tonight. We're going to see how this rolls. Maybe we'll do it more often once the baseball season rolls down. What do you guys think?
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean, we're in season 5 now. We're going live. I mean, this is all those new things. I mean, it kind of stems to some of the cooler things that that we got coming in this next season that we haven't really talked about. But we got some really cool things on the horizon, fellas. I don't know how much we want to share, but maybe something that like goes on a label goes on something, kind of talked about. Yeah, so we got some really cool things that are in the works right now. We're looking at probably, I don't know if they'll get through this season, but potentially in season 6 will be a full announcement and some really cool stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's been good.
Before we get real going, we have a big congratulations to send out. If you're looking at Kelly's screen right now, and as he looks sleep deprived, it's because Kelly Gow, the new papa. Congratulations, Kelly.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's the wife dealing with the sleep deprivation. I am here for moral support. Gladly.
Right.
Yep. Baby Emma, born December 23rd, 6:06 a.m. Early bird.
Sweet.
That's cool. So us burning the night oil, and she was a young, early in the morning baby.
That's awesome.
No, things are great. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a different world. We're home together. It's kind of like where we started here back in the COVID days when you were stuck at home with your family, but it was just the two of us. Now there's 3 of us at home all day.
That's cool
though. Game changer. Hey. And on call, I said 4 of us. 4 of us. 4 of us. Hide the butthole. No.
Oh,
it's
man.
Not ready for the public.
Yeah. The kitty made its appearance. Sorry, I don't know why I just got kicked off.
Kitty is here. Mr. Banks is live for our 50 viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He works wonders.
We do got 50. So go ahead. If you're watching tonight, we're kind of curious. We've always Kelly's cat's still wigging me out. We're always curious where our listeners are listening from and what they're doing. And this episode is so we can interact with you. So go ahead and type in the comments where you're from, your name maybe. Let's keep more people are logging on. We got more than one listener, guys. That's pretty cool.
Hey, Eric, before we get started, let's make a quick announcement about what's coming up in February too.
Oh yeah, don't forget the Washington State Baseball Coaches Association clinic in February 7th and 8th here in Ellensburg, Washington. You guys should be our Twitter's been blowing you up pretty good. Hopefully you guys have been seeing that. But if you haven't get signed up. If you haven't got your hotel rooms yet, do it, because there's I checked in today and there's a lot of people already signed up for hotels. There's a bunch of single beds available. There's some suites. So I know Scotty Parrish might be watching. I'm sure he's got the king suite, queen suite of the Hotel Windrow. Friday night got moved. We're going to, instead of doing it at Central Washington University on Friday, we're going to do it at the hotel in the ballroom where we're going to do the social at. So it'll be a lot of fun that night, especially because we got Kim Cox kicking off the night. Retired DeSales High School state champion. He's won like 19 state championships, I believe. That's I got to double check my numbers on that. And then past Fungo Banter guest Eric Fiedler will be talking building and maintaining a championship program. So that'll be a lot of fun. Little break, and then we're gonna have a championship panel with yours truly, Jason Jarrett, on there. Their applause. And then we have him and Grant Richardson and Mike Davidson from Overlake Bear Creek, the 1A state champion. Then the Hall of Fame panel that night, we got Don Freeman, David Larson, and Kim Cox wrapping up the night before the coaches social. There's a rumor there might even be a bar open by the time those panels happen. But I am kind of excited that championship panel, just to kind of preview a little bit. It's so interesting, the different paths that all three of those guys took to the state championship, right? Jason, you finished. It's interesting, Grant Richardson, undefeated season, state title.
Absolutely.
Tri-Cities Prep. You lost a doubleheader in the league to finish second in league again. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying how impressive this was. You finished second in league again, come back, win the district title, and then you go on and win back-to-back state championships. And then you got the Overlake Bear Creek School, man. They finished mid-level in their conference. I think they even lost their first game of districts and then didn't lose again. Right. So it's going to be so cool to hear all those stories of what you guys did to build your programs throughout the year, because that's what we're all chasing. We're here to grow young men and build young men and high character people. But, we're still trying to win some baseball games while we're at it. And so I'm truly excited to break that down. It's going to be a fun championship panel that night.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's going to be good. It's going to be just the sheer experience of, the list, the talks, and just the coaches that are going to be there, and the connections everybody's going to be able to make. And and also the first round of drinks are on the Pacific Northwest Fungo Banter. So
that's right.
For the social, you get that first drink for free. So that's on us.
It's worth it, man. You better be there. Saturday, we got Nick Allen from Ridgefield leading off the day. Then we have our past guest of the last couple episodes, Darren Trainer, the Lewiston High School head coach, working on catching, which the people have been asking, and we finally got you a catching guy at the clinic. Pretty excited. Elliot Kribbe going to talk some pitching, the new head coach at Eastlake High School. And then we're going to have a nice little break, go to the vendors, maybe see a sponsor or two. Then Casey Adcox, Sumner retired head coach. Last time I saw Casey, he's a Central grad. Awesome dude, met him once or twice, and they were taking batting practice on our field. Sumner was 4A school. Okay, Jason, you've been to our field. They started hitting BP, and I was like, "Hey, coach, there's a lot of houses right there, and we don't normally hit them. Oppo day, Oppo maybe.
Well, bring out the tape balls.
Yeah, that's
I mean, you only hit them on windy days. Windy days.
Oh no,
too.
They had some guys, and those guys did hit a couple houses. It was I enjoyed watching it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
So that was kind of fun. And I know Eric Fiedler keeps telling me I owe him a baseball because they practice after that. Enum clawing their way, and I don't have any more. And then Mike Davidson is going to talk leadership, captains, competitive practice, and then Mike Olson from Bonnie Lake is going to wrap it up with outfield play. So I'm excited, man. We're so close. We're almost a month or just over a month away from the season's kicking off for high schools.
Getting there. College stuff's already rolling.
Mm-hmm. So, it's going to be awesome.
College in the swing of it. Game soon.
Yeah, the NAIAs are basically about to play, aren't they?
Couple weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks, I think. 2 weeks from Friday, usually.
Mm-hmm.
They kick off. Wow. Crazy times.
Absolutely.
There's nothing better than watching some
season.
college baseball. Even if it's streaming when I'm freezing in Ellensburg, watching some local Northwest team down in California in palm trees. Pretty nice to watch that. Before we have some guests pop in here, we had a little fun thing we put together. Some little banter topics. We're in the spirit of the clinic. We just wanted to chat. We've got 78 viewers on here, guys. It's pretty awesome. Where do we want to kick this thing off? You guys got some questions? We're going to have a little quick fire story time.
Eric, you're first. Yeah.
Okay.
Start us off, Eric.
I got 2 questions for you guys. I did one like legit, kind of a serious one for our baseball fans out there. And then I got a funny one. I don't know if it's funny or not, but it's funny to me. Our serious question. Both of you guys, you both coached at the private sector. You're a private high school. Kelly, you were at a private college in GNAC with St. Martin's. We all have our different pros and cons of being in public schools and private schools. I know that Jason, you can recruit. I'm sorry, I had to throw that. He's in our conference. I had to do it. But no, talk to us about some of the pros and cons coming from coaching in the private sector.
Okay. Assuming I'll go first and then
Sure.
Kelly follows.
Sure.
Being the college guy. Pros and cons. I mean, on the private sector, I mean, there's a lot more pros than cons. I think, I don't know, this going live could almost get me in trouble too, but
Yeah, we can't edit this.
It's a good question. No, I think more okay, I'll go off the cons because let's hit the negative and then lead out with the positive. But I think the negatives of a private sector is you're more dependent. I know people think, yeah, you're into recruiting, you can do this, you can do that. Yeah, okay, people can say, well, BS, all that kind of stuff, whatever. It really is, you're dependent on the talent that you get in, So let me tell you a little history of Tri-City Prep. We're a small college area prep 2B school. Our classes only max out at 60, boys and girls per class. So that is our max is what we are. And we don't have any substantial growth that we'll get any bigger than that. So that's kind of the vision of the founders of prep and what they wanted to be. So, so we were really dependent on those kids that come in and just want to be part of, athletics, an activity of some sort. The academia is a little bit more strenuous. So there is a bigger emphasis on the academia, which is great. But sometimes can make it tough too when you're trying to develop a program and establish something, so that, and that factor is tough. Money is a little bit another thing too, donors do help, but again, I don't make a lot of money. I really, really don't. I mean, a lot of people have this whole thing that, oh, you're a Catholic private school, you get a ton of money. I'm pretty much max because I've been there now for, let's see here, just finished my 14th season as head coach there. So the thing is that, Eric, you're making a lot more money than I am.
Correct.
I know you and I've discussed this. So I'll just leave it as that. So that's another thing, but you don't coach because of the money.
Right.
So your facilities and that kind of stuff, they don't put a lot of emphasis on that, so it's kind of hard when you're dealing with people that come in with high academia that we want, my child to get a good education, be ready for college, excel, become a doctor, become a lawyer, those kind of things. And so that's kind of some of the negatives. The positives of it is that they push for the academia. So you do have those a lot more smarter, intelligent. I think that's a pro and con when you get to dealing with, students. Sometimes you don't want a baseball guy thinking too much, but, being that he's smart, it does make it easier to coach it because they do follow, they do listen a little bit more intently. Plus, there's a little bit more structure at home. So when the kid comes to practice, you got to be 15 minutes before we roll, all that kind of stuff. Since I lay down and I do get a lot more support from the parent when it comes to the discipline. My kid was out of line. Please let me know. So, I mean, there's those kind of things. And lastly, I would say the positive is the communication between the parent and the player and the coach. That seems to be a really positive and open door. So those are kind of the things for us there at Prep, that the pros and the cons on that. So, Kel.
Yeah, I think anytime you're talking about private school funding, and I think it's probably more so for the non-Division One schools. Um, but I think that the tough part is not having those resources from state to do improvements, whether that's institutional, whether that's athletic based. Um, Also, being a private school, like Jason mentioned, with smaller sizes, I know a lot of the public schools have subsidies that their student body pays, and athletic fees. A school like Central, where I attended, you know, tens of thousands of kids paying into that pool is a lot different than 1,500 paying an athletic fee. So as far as your funding, um, it's based a lot more on enrollment rather than um, general student body and their extra fees and things. So that's the tougher part. Any type of grant based things that different state schools get, we might not qualify for the same. But it's the cost of school that makes it more difficult to attract someone when you're not fully funded, which no baseball school in America is fully funded their entire roster. I know football is and a lot of basketballs are, but not having that fully funding at a private institution, like you have to offset things different ways, right? So it makes it a little bit more of a challenge to recruit a roster that um, has the means, has the willingness to want to attend a school. It's a different type of athlete, different type of student, like Jason said. But it's a fun thing to be a part of. I think just as much like um, y- you know eh, anything in life, like you're trying to overcome challenges and what you deal with and what you do, and I don't think anytime being a coach, it doesn't change what your priorities are, right? It's life lessons. It's getting guys on to the next level. The next level for us is not necessarily professional baseball. That's a career after baseball, where a high school coach is more a career after high school, which is going to lead them to their overall careers at the end. So um, that coaching side of things is super important. So yeah, we fight challenges on a daily basis. We fought challenges on a daily basis, and but at the same time, like it didn't change, right? You're in the gutter with coaching baseball and doing what anyone else in America is, just maybe with some more limitations. So everyone's got their problems. We understand that. We didn't try to ever use that as a pity. We knew what we were up against, and um, yeah, I see some questions popping up here, so I'll
Yeah.
stop talking and let us get to work
Well,
here.
it's our podcast. We can talk as much as we want, Kel. We can do what we want. We do have a couple of questions here.
Point
and
of this thing.
I'm really excited we got a question. So thank you, PNW College Baseball Report, because I've been loving all of your preseason previews. I'm just saying, if you haven't followed them,
For
which
sure.
I'm sure everybody has, it is
Check
fucking
'em out.
awesome. Yes. He is curious how this whole podcast started and what have we learned that you wish you knew at the beginning. So I'll tell the story, and you guys think about what you wish you knew from the beginning. It started when I am a communication studies major. Went to college, Central, tried to become geography, and was like, I need to stay eligible for baseball. Let's go to the communication department. And so I was going to be a farmer, whatever. And so then it turned out, I was like, I kind of like this stuff. And I wish I would have gone to the radio station when the year I wasn't playing baseball at Central. But I have a podcast, Local Sports Kid, has Valley Sports Talk, where we cover all these things. And yeah, it's kind of growing pretty cool. And that during COVID, we got shut down. Our season just got banged. And I was literally going back and forth with phone calls. I was driving tractor and talking to Kelly. He's like, oh, that'd be kind of fun to do it. And then Jason was like, dude, we should start a baseball coaches podcast. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. That's another thing. I don't want to do it. I'm pretty sure I called Kelly. I was like, Jason's got this idea. I don't know. I don't really want to do anything else. I was like, let's start it. And then next day, Jason called, when are we going to start this podcast? And so I finally gave in, and that's how that thing got started. And I'm pretty proud that this thing actually lasted past COVID. I know that we've gone seasonal. We were going as much as we could before, but everybody had time to do it then. And then we're with Jason's business he runs. He's so busy in the summer, and I'm a farmer in the summer, and Kelly's doing baseball all summer long. So the wintertime just makes sense for that. And honestly, it's a cool tool for me, because if there's a subject I'm wanting to learn, more about as a coach. I'm like, hey, who can we talk about this? Like, it's kind of a pretty cool firsthand tool. Things I wish we had learned beforehand. If you go back and listen to season 1, oh my God, that was horrible audio. It was, we were on cell phones talking, right? And like, we drop a call. I remember,
Kelly, are you there?
yeah, like it was insane. I remember how bad my internet was at my old place. And like, I remember during the Abe Silvestri interview, it like just completely, my computer shut off and I'm like sprinting through the house. My wife's giving her a heart attack and her scaring the crap out of our kid at the time, just the one we had at the time. I wish I knew that I needed better internet. And then just how we have our setup. And I think if you're ever going to start a podcast, spend the money for the good equipment early. Don't try to go cheap, because we've gotten you guys at least 3 different microphones along this process. Yeah. And I finally got a nice soundboard, but it's so simple to use, which is nice. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Kelly. Go first.
Yeah, I same story. I just remember like dropping calls. I'm laying in bed upstairs at our old duplex in Tufont, Washington, laying on the bed, like just laying there, like maybe sitting on the bed. I don't even know. I got a little office now. It's okay. Life is better.
Oh, man.
But I think the reason it worked out, and we're gonna have some of these people to pop on for a minute here. I know we're stringing them out there, but we talk a lot about just the Northwest group and the Northwest connections and coaches and everything we know and the college level. And we spend a lot more time off the field together than maybe at the high school level or anything else around at some of our events. So to be able to take those opinions and the different personalities that are out there and be able to give them a platform to advocate for their schools, to advocate for our area, to everything we have going on here. Basically, just to take that in a public eye has been an awesome thing to be able to do. And there's so many great people out here that are coaching at this level for all the right reasons. There's not a bad person in the Northwest. I firmly believe that. Like, yes, there's personalities that may clash with different people, but there is nobody here in our Northwest group that is doing this for the wrong reasons. So to be able to get out and tell those stories, and I know that there's still other people with it. We're hoping to get on this podcast in our time, and fortunate for Eric to take on the time to be able to do a lot of the soundboard stuff, the technology. This is not a profitable endeavor by any means.
This has cost us money.
With 124 people on here, if anyone wants to float out a sponsorship and
we got Venmo,
help backfill this thing, we gladly take you on. But it's purely an enjoyable thing. Like we like talking baseball, and that's why we do it. As far as things we knew at the beginning, I think Eric hit the technology piece of that. Was definitely beneficial. But I think script writing is the one thing that we've talked about quite a bit. I think that we've tried to change things season by season. I know last year was more nuts and bolts, trying to really dig into different ends of baseball coaching. This year has been a little bit more open-ended with our conversations, and we've kind of backed off the script and had it become less interview Q&A style and more just chatter, which doing this episode here is even further along with the endeavors there. But I think that the more lax things can be, just talk baseball. Just imagine yourself having a conversation with another baseball coach on the phone, and then you're just recording and posting that live is when the best content comes out. We've gotten caught by interviewing and different things and not knowing the personality of the guest as well. Sometimes we have long-winded questions and answers. Other times we have very short ones. We're not going to name names of different episodes and things, but
that comes with
just
the social
knowing your
clinic.
guest. Yeah, that's the off episode stuff, but yeah, that's long-winded stuff there. But this has been a great endeavor and taking it to the next level now.
Actually, if any of our listeners that have been listening since year one, and you've seen some of this stuff, like the changes, tell us what you like. And we got our first guest on the random call-in episode. Hey, Coach Agnew.
What's up, Kev?
I had to leave my wife. We were watching The Hangover, laughing. And
Which one?
the original one, man. We had nothing else to watch, and she's laughing harder than I am. So we got to make this quick so I can get back in there.
I love it, man. Oh, I can't believe it. Well,
how you guys doing?
We haven't gone off air yet.
Good. Good.
Not canceled yet.
We haven't said anything bad. I haven't got a fired email yet, so we're good. So what's new with Coach Agnew since you've been on the podcast lately?
Oh man, not much. I mean, got through a football season, first one under the belt, so that was good to survive that, I guess, for lack of a better term, and getting cranked up for baseball season now.
Heck yeah.
Right around the corner.
We're there. We're there.
Is it
Absolutely.
Yeah.
like literally? We're how many days away? We're almost just over a month away.
It's crazy how fast it goes.
Yeah, it's fall spring here in Ellensburg because it's so nice out. It's still kind of cold, but the ground's clear. You can see some grass and the sun's out. And you're like, it's gonna snow still like 4 times.
Yeah,
You're gonna get that
yeah.
too.
Sun was out today. It was nice, but it's coming for sure.
Not to
Yep.
mention, you're one of the intro guys in our podcast now. Your voice comes out every single episode. That's pretty cool.
Oh man, I thought you were trying to pick up listeners, not turn them away.
I know. Hey, our number's gone up on the live stream.
What do they say? Voice for radio, face for radio.
Right. That's right. All of us. Maybe before we get back to you can get back to the Wolf Pack. Was the Wolf Pack? Is that what they are?
The Wolf Pack.
The Wolf Pack. What's some of your favorite Fungo Banter highlights along the way from now, other than your episode?
Oh man. Yeah, my episode. I'll admit I have not listened to the newest season yet. I need to get going on that. I've been deep diving into the world of wide zone and duo football, so I got some baseball stuff to catch up on. But man, best ones. You had Glenn Walker on, didn't you?
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a season 1 guy earlier, I remember, and he was talking about like team defense or team offense or something on first and thirds, and I called him. I texted him, was like, "Hey, I just listened to your Fungo Banter stuff," and he and I ended up talking for like 3 hours one day about all that stuff and getting dialed in. And then I met him at the clinic, and we kept talking. So we've all had those moments, but that was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other ones. It's been a while, but the Coach Walker one definitely stands out.
Well, that's one of the best ones of the off-air comments about. I think his kids were playing Fortnite or something in the background. And if you go back and listen, that you hear a lot of this. He's trying to get their attention.
Oh yeah,
like, stop it. Hopefully he's watching.
I remember that from the COVID days. I had to do a video, like a welcome back video. I was teaching middle school still at the time, so my principal was like, "Can you do a nice welcome back video?" I'm like, "Sure." And I'm trying to do it and smile, and my kids are over here, and I'm like, "Shh, knock it off." Well, yeah, I'm still filming. I ended up just submitting that one. It was perfect.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh heck, yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
Hey, real quick. What's having played for your pops? What's now that he's removed from it? What's your best story of him coaching? And funny, too, I remember a kid being sent home because he hadn't shaved. That's fine and dandy, but what's a good one for him?
The thing that's cool about that though is the kid that hadn't shaved was like Zach Tuiasosopo or somebody like that. It wasn't just some run of the mill kid. It was like a future Division I. He spared nobody. I don't know. There's lots of good I mean, I think they're legends now. They've grown so much, but the one where, at Woodinville, there was a road that went down along the baseball field, and at the top of the hill, you could hear the cars going. And so Inglemore and Bothell guys would always drive down the road and scream at us and, stuff like that. And one time that happened, and my dad picked up a fungo and hit a ball, and it hit the car, straight up hit the car. And I was not there for that one, but that apparently happened.
That's a poke, yeah.
I mean, he made Zach Tuiasosopo run home, and because he didn't have a cup on, and made him run home, and his mom had to drive him to Play It Again Sports and buy him a cup. That was pretty good. But the best one, I'll bleep it out. I won't drop any F-bombs on air, but he definitely used an F-bomb. My senior year of football, we were playing Eastlake, and we were both 3-0 going into the game. It was a huge game. And the point of emphasis that year for the referees was that the kids could not say the F word because it got so out of control. F this, F that. So we go into the game, and it's just a pouring down rain, slog fest. I think our only touchdown that night was a double pass, and it just was a nasty night. And like 2 minutes left in the first half, the referees come over, and I'm the quarterback, so I'm standing next to my dad, and they call my dad over, and they're like, Terry, you got to get this game under control. These kids are out of control. We've told you a million times about the F words. And the Eastlake coach was over there too, is Jeff Chandler, who's a good buddy of mine too, and is a good friend of my dad's. And my dad looks at both of them and goes, what the F do you want me to do about it? I think that's my all-time favorite.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, yeah. Kevin, thank you. Thank you for jumping on, being our first caller tonight, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Hey. Yeah. Now I want to go watch Hangover. See.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What we do in the off season.
That's right. Well, we will see you in Ellensburg in February.
Yeah. I am like really excited for this one. With, like I said, I've been so caught up in football and stuff. Like, it took me a while to get into it, and I know that you and I and Brian have all been like feeling the stress of getting it off and running. But in the last couple of weeks, it's really come together. We have an awesome speaker lineup, like we've been saying on Twitter over and over. And I know there's a lot of guys that still just haven't signed up yet that are going to be there. But
Jason,
Jason's one. There you go. Gotta get signed up, coach. But I think the cool thing going into year 3, with the guys signing up is like we've got our guys that have come every year since that first year when we had it in Moses Lake. But now we were talking today, a summer ball group is coming. The FOC Bears over in like the Issaquah area. We've got a guy presenting from Idaho, which is pretty cool. Darren Trainer. He was a All-American at LCSC a few years ago. Young guy, so he's going to bring a pretty cool perspective. He was on a couple weeks ago, right? I think. And so we'll have a couple of Idaho coaches. The Coeur d'Alene guys have come the last few years, and they're pushing that out to like Post Falls, and those guys trying to get some more of them. And then we had some Oregon guys come. So I think it's kind of cool to see that it's kind of getting out to people all over. And it's, like we talk about, it's just a fun, quick one-night deal where we hit it in the evening, and then we get up early the next morning, and then we're gone by 1:00 and home to see the family. And it's pretty cool though to get to see everybody there and reconnect and learn some new things. So I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, we have a really great speaker lineup. Kim Cox, if you go on the Max Preps, is the greatest coach of all time for Washington. Like, they've ranked each state, right? And he's Washington's representative. So we've got him headlining it, which is pretty cool. So some really awesome guys, and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I can't wait to be having a beer while we're listening to some speakers later too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the nice part of finally getting to that day, is like you and I can just sit back and relax after hounding people for 3 months to get signed up and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
100%. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Coach,
gonna be great. Get back to your bride and your movie, man. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. See you in Ellensburg. Hopefully. Good to see you guys. Good luck this spring.
Thank you.
And everybody out there, get signed up. We'll see you in Ellensburg.
Will do, Kevin. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
See you, fellas. Thank you.
Bye.
That was pretty cool. That actually worked. So that was neat.
Neat. Yeah.
Okay, my second question for you guys. What's your
Well,
bet?
Jason's got to answer. Doesn't Jason still have to go here?
He went first.
He's good. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
It was a great answer. I'm surprised you weren't listening.
You had an even guest question. Okay.
I just talked about the guest thing. I mean, I honestly, guys, thinking
Lock it
about
in, host.
We're in season 5. We're thinking about it.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think the further we get along in this podcast, it's kind of like the beginnings, right? When you guys were all in your first year of your first job, when you first came on staff there as the head guy at Kid Task, Kelly at St. Martin's, you those are some of the coolest and funnest times I think of your coaching
Mm-hmm.
career because it's just you're like drinking out of a fire, not hydrant, and it just seems like you just oh wow, like being as on the outside of the line, it's so much easier to critique than being inside the
Mm-hmm.
line, And so I think about like getting started, how excited we were, not that we aren't, and as we're growing, but like all the little challenges we had faced. I mean, I was starting out like doing podcasts down in my office late at night
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have the best internet in my house, and to even like going into last season where I think I did a podcast where it was just blank black screen, I
Yes.
had audio with plenty airs, but it was just black screen. But yeah, just I think yeah, kind of getting to David's question there. Biggest thing is like I think the things that you learn is that it takes money. It really
Yeah.
does, to get started and resources, right? When I mean resources, relationships, connections. And I think how uniquely we've started this, how we each have our own little thing that we do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a big part of what makes us work. And, we've talked about some really cool things about taking the show on the road and investing in some more equipment and, doing some live shows. And we've been invited out to some different locations to do that, in which, schedule wise, if we can get there,
Mm-hmm.
we'll eventually, I think in time we'll get there. But, it's kind of like whoever thought we'd go do a live show, I mean, it's happening now, so,
We're doing it.
um, we're doing it, I think that's kind of the things. And, you know, yeah, just biggest thing, if people want to start a podcast, just be who you are. I
Mm-hmm.
think what happens sometimes is that you start listening to someone and then they just get so structured. And I think sometimes the way you coach it can be that way. And I think as a good coaches just naturally and they admit to things they screw up to, like maybe you repeat a question too often or instruct too much on a particular hitter, just when times to just shut up, I
Mm-hmm.
guess you could say, those are kind of things. And, I think that's what makes you better at what you do in your job. But I think, what through this podcast has taught me is that the baseball world is all about relationships. And if you want to be a successful coach, build some great relationships. I mean, this clinic we got coming up, honestly, I know it's the high school side of it for the 7th and 8th, but you look at the ABCA, you got the Northwest Convention coming up at the end of January, I think,
Mm-hmm.
right, Kel? The one in Portland? The
Northwest Baseball Coaches one. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep.
Mhm. So, I mean, that's a big one, got a lot of college guys, but if you're wanting to develop, and grow in the game, go to those clinics, build, t start some conversations,
Build a
nobody's gonna
network.
think
Yep.
you're stupid, network, and that's where, people want genuine yes, and that's the thing is, like, you don't people who showboat it and pound their chest, they don't get very far. They don't, and the thing is that people want we all have same, feelings, insecurities, everything goes around it. A high school guy is no different than a college guy. Yeah, have all the same stresses. Just sometimes on those higher college guys. I was just talking to a friend of ours of the podcast. I'll leave his name
Mm-hmm.
out, but we were just talking about players and recruiting and how difficult it is. And I said, man, you do an awesome job of promoting your program. Keep up the good work, and you've established yourself well. And he says, hey, I'm trying. It's not easy, but I'm trying. And he keeps continuing to network with the high school guys and find those guys. But that's what it takes. So, anyways,
Absolutely. My second fun question for you guys. Tell me a story of your best, most funniest road trip. Either coach or player, whatever you got.
funniest road trip. Like coaching road
Yeah.
trip kind of thing?
Yeah, something that happened. Like it's kind of like, what the heck are we doing here? What the heck that kid do?
I know. I got one, but I can't share this one.
Okay.
So
Okay.
There's some different angles we could go here. Yeah.
It'd be an off and air one.
Mhm.
It's really good, but I don't want to put any. It would put some people in trouble. But
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
I'll tell you one. We were in 2018.
Mhm.
We're heading up to Centralia for our state championship game, our semifinal game against Napavine. So that weekend up in Packwood, they do their big street. I don't know, their big deal, the big parade, not a parade, but more a market. The big Packwood market. It's the early kickoff of the summer. So we're coming up there, and you got that Chevron station there in Packwood. So we pull in there, and some of the players needed to use the restroom. So I tell them, get off the bus, go to the restroom. You guys get out, come on back, and we're headed to Central. We got to get there, check in, get to our game and everything. Well, one of my assistants, he was a first year guy, and he, for whatever reason, doesn't hear me. Well, they come out of the Chevron gas station and they go wandering through the market, and everybody's back on the bus, and except for him and four other guys, I think. And I'm like, where in the world is so and so, and where's the other players? Well, lo and behold, I end up having to walk through the market, and I find him, and I'm like, and he's up at some vendor looking at buying some necklaces or bracelets or something. And I said, "What are you doing?" Well, in that heavy, I was probably a little more heavier with my words, but what are you doing? Get on the bus. We got to get to a semi-state championship game. He's like, well, I just figured I'd look at what the vendors have here. I was like, we're not on a field trip. I said, of all things, you know better because you're on my staff, but then you're leading the sheep into like their slaughter, and the kids are like, oh, whatever, coach is going, we're going. So anyways, that's our story. We got over there and we ended up beating Napavine, but then lost the next day to Scotty's dad there in that final game. But
This final
that
one.
was a good. That was a good clean one.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah. Golly, I got a lot. Got a lot. Maybe bring Coach Calhoun on.
He probably has a story or two.
oh my goodness,
Maybe
Probably
maybe a camera.
Maybe a camera. Maybe show his face. All these I already prepped him. I told him what our viewer count was. So you'd think a guy like that would be dialed in.
Best hair in the pod.
I mean, a couple years back we made a trip down to Chico State, and not many airports nearby. So we bust it, and we get to, I think it's Battleground down south. One of the last, I don't even know if it was that far. One of the last road stops on I-5 south, and our bus driver gets off, and there's no spots to be able to park on. Oh gosh! All right, story time with the crew. And so there's none in the truck stops, right? Like there's usually the truck stalls, the bigger ones to pull into. So the driver, to me nameless, decides to park it, off to the side. And in the west side, it's a little wet over here, and the ground gets saturated in the springtime. That's why we're heading south for baseball. And we go to leave, and the bus isn't moving forward. And they had parked it in the side in the grassy area, to where there was no traction for that bus to. The great back end job. I mean, phenomenal. We try to leave, and the bus is digging in further and further and further. And I don't know if it was a test to our weight training program that year, to how well our boys could push the bus out. It failed. We failed that operation. But in order to get out, the owner of the company took down another bus. Okay. And he backed that bus into the front of our bus and Jimmy rigged a rope, a chain to pull a bus out of a mud hole with a bus. That was the first time I'd ever seen that. Probably never happen ever again. And then that trip had some other ups and downs with it, but I'll spare you the other details. But yeah, that's what it. We're on patrol with Coach Calhoun.
Oh, man.
Give us your triple play there, Coacher.
Well, having driven to Chico State before, that checks out. The boxes check. The best Chico State story I have is 2016.
We're not even Chico State stories, but okay. We said our best. We're on our best road trip story. What's your
I
best
thought
road
Chico
trip
State
story?
earlier.
We have viewers too, so be mindful
Yeah, we
of
gotta-
your P's and Q's on
Well,
the
yeah,
road
Chico
trip
State.
story.
Like, I'll tell this one. This is a great one. It's PG.
Okay.
So I coached third for the first third of the year. CJ and Cop both know the story, and we get shut out like night one at Chico. Like, it's top 15 matchup, UC San Diego versus Chico State, and we get to the field in the morning. We got a doubleheader going. We got Easter Sunday coming up, so we got Saturday doubleheader, and our hitting coach, JT Bloworth, I love him to death. He's one of our good friends, all three of us on the pod here. He's like, hey, you're coaching first today. And I was like, I've coached third the whole year. Sounds good. Whatever. You're in charge of the offense. You do your thing. We go there. We get absolutely smoked in game one of doubleheader. We're fighting. Like, we're barking at the team. We're trying to get them going. Sure enough, in between the doubleheader, Make-A-Wish Day. We got a little girl going to Disneyland for the first time. Little princess going to Disneyland. It's waterworks, man. Like, it is waterworks. Like, little girl going to Disneyland. Like, she's trying to beat cancer. Like, our guys are checked. It's over. So I go to first base. I'm getting yelled at by fans. Like, congrats on the demotion. Like, you suck. Like, congrats on this. And they're yelling at our two-hole hitter, who's from NorCal, named JD Hearn. JD just got married. He's a great guy. He bounced back from UC Santa Barbara. He's awesome. And one of his buddies in a frat at Chico State, he goes, JD, I heard you like bubble baths. Loser. He punches out 3 pitches. It's over. Like, we're getting smoked. Needless to say, we got stuck in Fresno trying to get home because we couldn't drive home straight to San Diego because our bus driver had to clock out.
Oh no!
So Easter Sunday, we're stuck in Fresno.
Oh,
Like,
no.
so we had to stop at the hotel. We're like, hey, if your family's going home, go ahead and jump a ride with them. We are going back to San Diego. We didn't get back to San Diego until probably like 5 o'clock at night. Like, it was,
Man.
but we kept yelling it throughout the bus ride, like, JD, heard you like bubble baths. Loser. So he gets married this year.
Oh, no.
And one of our guys went to the wedding.
Oh no!
Oh, man.
Like, they're doing like reception stuff, like best man speech, like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, his brother is awesome, giving the best man speech. One of our guys goes, JD, heard you like bubble baths. Enjoy them with your wife, loser. I have not stopped laughing since then. It's
Oh, man.
Chico State.
What's life like now, Mr. Calhoun? Where you at? Where you been doing? What are you doing these days?
I'm still in North Carolina. I'm in the process of moving out. I'm going to AA with the Astros. So
What's that?
same role, development coach, like defensive coordinator. So my manager got promoted to AA. I went with him. So really excited. Get to go to Corpus Christi, Texas, do the Texas League. Get to play the Twins now, so I get to see all the guys as CJ gets better, and see them see what they are. See if CJ's good at his job or not. It's great. So
I love it. CJ, where you at? What are you doing? You got one light bulb in that apartment. Should we send you some funds?
Yeah. I think it's just the lighting thing.
the budget thing.
No, just same as Calhoun, getting ready for another spring training. Excited about it. Going back to Cedar Rapids. Love it out there. Really, really good community. Should have a really solid roster that'll go and beat up on the Astros once they get up to AA. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. Excited for Florida in the best time to be out in Florida, February, March.
The only time that's good in Florida.
Yeah, excited.
Me and you both, baby. It's fine.
Well,
That's awesome. You have a road trip story, CJ? Yeah, road trip. We're on road trip stories.
Road trip stories. Yeah, I actually was looking through my pictures with Coach Esker. We were going up to play Oregon State, and one of the rules about working at Stanford is you got to wear suits when you travel. So on the road, you wear suits. If you win the series, your sweatsuits back home, which is great. If you lose the series, you just better get comfortable in that musty suit. So we were going up to play Oregon State, and we had a practice set up that same day. So it was Thursday leave, get up there, going to play Thursday night or practice Thursday night, play Friday. We get up, and all of our luggage gets up except our baseball stuff. So we get to the hotel. The guys are like, well, the stuff's not going to get there till late. Who's got baseball stuff on them? So everyone's like sharing, like a shoe or like a cleat. And some guys have multiple gloves that they carry on their bags, whatever. The coaching staff has none of that because we pack like adults and put all of our stuff in suitcases. So it led us to be out on the field hitting fungos and stuff in our full suits. So I still have that picture at Oregon State, full suit hitting fungos through BP, everything. And thankfully, with the amount that I sweat, we won that series. Still have not lost a series to the Beavs in my time. So thankfully, we won that series and did not have to see that suit again for a while.
Quickly, as a cat owner, you have a little furry thing there sitting on a cat tree back there in the back?
Yeah, not by choice.
Oh, what's your kitty's name? Name is
Thor and Loki. There's two demons up there, so they're family cats.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
The best thing I think I've read in a book in a long time, and it's including Ryan Holiday's books on stoicism and everything, was a guy asked the question of, what's better than the best cat? And the answer is the worst dog. And I will have that on my headstone.
And I don't know where he's at.
CJ,
He's laying right there. We took that personally.
that cat, don't forget.
Great.
Coach Koppel did too.
CJ, I was completely prepared for you to talk about the flight to Hawaii.
Oh yeah, no. Went with the good Stanford suit story.
The fact that CJ hates flying like more than anything in the world, and when we worked together at Biola, he's like, dude, I'm not doing the flight to Biola. I'm not flying to Hawaii. I'm not doing it. I was like, well, joke's on you. Like, we have to play 8 games in Hawaii. So I don't know how you're not going to do this. And he was like, I'll drive there. It's fine. I was like, you can't drive there.
Ferry boat.
Not possible. Actually, impossible. And CJ was like, I'll figure it out. I'll take the ferry. I was like, there's no ferry. Sure enough.
Trying to tell me you don't believe in ferries, Jeff?
Not boats. Like we know
Okay.
ferry boats. Ferry boats go about an hour max. On the island. We know
Yeah,
that.
the kind of island that I live on, you can drive a car onto a boat and it'll take you there safely. You never even have to get into the air.
Yeah.
Shout out Whidbey Island.
Jokes on CJ because he tried to drive his car onto the plane. And they're like, no, that's not a check on. Like you can't check that on. Like, sorry, sir, you can't do that. Like, sure enough, like all of us end up sitting next to players. Like it's the classics. Like Kelly, like you book your flight, you get in your seat, and it's like player. And so we go to Hilo first, and so we have to go to Oahu and then fly to Hilo. So, like CJ knows this one. So I end up next to Dave Ryan, who CJ knows all time. Like he's in med school. He's phenomenal as a human. Like I think both of us wrote letters for him to get into med school. And we're doing the seatbelt check, and he wouldn't do it. And I'm like, Dave, like, why aren't you putting your seatbelt on? He's from Tulsa, Oklahoma, like small town guy. He's like, Coach, you think a seatbelt will protect me if we crash this plane? Ain't no way. I was like, he also was the guy that would put his seatbelt on for a bus trip, though. And I was like, you know what, Dave? You might not be wrong. You might not be wrong. He was our most likely to be voted as the president on our team. And our guy, he responds with, nah, I'd rather be the attorney general. Get way more things done. Like CJ knows that story. It's a great, like, it's like I'm sitting there on the plane like, you know, you might be right, Dave. You might be right. You might actually be right on this. Like,
I'm sure that calmed the nerves of CJ having to fly and think about life and death in a seatbelt.
It never used to bother me till when I was at Bucknell. We were flying out to play Arkansas. For them, it was like a scrimmage. For us, it was a meaningful series. But we were flying into Tulsa, and I'll never forget. I was sitting next to one of our players. He's in the middle seat on the aisle, and we have this woman who's like a world traveler, right? Like the calmest person ever on a flight. And again, at the time, flying didn't bother me. So they sit the people down like 15 minutes before. They're like, hey, we're going to sit everybody down. It's going to be a little bumpy going in. Just a little bumpy. Okay, cool, fine. Whatever. We're going to play Arkansas. I'm pumped. So nothing can ruin my day. Little did I know we were going to get thrown around by the hands of God for the next like 35 minutes as we try and land this metal box. And we get like towards the runway, and the landing gear is like tickling the runway, and the wing tips, and you just hear the engine take off. And we're like, now the ground's getting further away, which I don't think is what's supposed to happen. And we start pulling up, and this lady totally calm. She's like, oh yeah, it's windy out here. This is what they do. They flip the runway. And I'm like, okay, she's a world traveler. She totally gets it. Not even that worried about it. Sure enough, pilot gets on. He's like, hey, a little windy. Obviously you can tell we're just going to flip the runway and come in the other way. You guys will be down in a minute. All right, fine. Same thing. We're like going down, and then the flight attendants, the last thing you want to see is them get panicked during a flight. One of our freshmen who Jeff and I ended up coaching at Biola, and then he ended up playing at Washington at the end of his career. He runs to the back of the plane. He's throwing up everywhere. Kids are texting their parents like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see you again.
Oh, no.
We're going down, and sure enough, we get towards the runway, and the wing tips again. And this time it's like closer, and you feel like, in my mind now, looking back at it, I feel like I'm looking at the runway because the story just gets bigger and bigger every time you think about it. I'm like, looking at the runway, the plane's sideways. And so they abort a second landing. And this time we're like 150, 200 feet above the ground, trying to get back above like the wind that's pushing us down. And everybody's panicking. And then she starts panicking which then makes me panic because the person that's traveled the most is now terrified. Flight attendants are like, this is the worst wind I've felt in 30 years of flying. And I'm like, oh my God, we might actually, like, this could be it.
We ain't gonna
So
make
then
it.
I'm texting my parents, I don't know if I'm ever going to see it. So they end up getting control of everything, get up in there, and the pilot's like, hey, we're going to try it one more time. And I was like, hate to hear that language. Try it. We're going to try it one more time. If we can't get it down, we'll just land in Dallas. And I was like, can we just maybe skip the trying it?
Run home.
And so they get same thing, like wind's going. He eventually just slams us straight down on the runway, and people are like clapping, throwing up, like looking around at the guys. I was like, you guys were scared? That's unbelievable. They just had to flip the runway a couple of times. It's not a big deal. And that's why ever since then I hate flying. It works.
Oh, that's funny.
I just couldn't imagine me the people on the ground had to pick up that runway and move it around. Coach Cobble, you've been sitting here patiently waiting. How are you?
Every time CJ tells that story, it gets better and better. I'm not joking. Like every time, it gets better and better. Oh man. Travel stories. I mean, George Fox Baseball has had a long run of great bus stories. We had, I can't even remember what year, but we had to show up to the conference tournament one year. Our bus broke down, so we actually showed up in the Linfield bus to our hotel at a conference tournament. They were nice enough to circle back and pick us up halfway. Tournament was in Tacoma, so they somewhere around Centralia they picked us up. So my first year as the head coach, 2020, before COVID shut the world down, we were on our way up to play Puget Sound. Stopped in Centralia to get food, groceries, whatever. So we give our guys 25 minutes to go eat, 30 minutes to go eat. They go eat. We get back to the bus. I think I was probably one of the first one or two people there, and our bus driver is just standing outside the door shut, just like panicked. And it's like, okay, what's going on? And he's like, I left the keys in the bus. And this is after we've had multiple breakdowns when Marty Hunter was head coach and some other stories, but so no keys. So now we're calling other companies to see if there's a way to get in, to get a key, whatever it is. And our guys, as awesome as they were, that group of seniors had broken down a few times on the side of the road. We're over by kind of in the back, across the street from the Safeway. They go, hey, everybody, we're going to Safeway. We'll be back in 5 minutes. They go to Safeway, come back out, and have like sparklers that they bought at Safeway. And they like give them out, circle the bus, go around and light them to do like a seance to like break the bad juju on bus trips for us. It was still one of the funniest things I've ever seen for a bunch of college kids to do. And if you were a bystander, like just a bunch of kids with sparklers surrounding a bus in Centralia, it was a good time. It was a good time. That group had a good time. And then we went and swept. So it was a good weekend. And the bus made it home safely. So
Golly. Unreal.
Those are hard to top.
Yeah. That is crazy. Wow.
Oh man.
I don't know where we go from there.
Your guys were telling Chico State stories earlier. I don't know if I've told this one when.
Oh yeah. Get in there. Get in on this
when
one.
we were Kelly and I were playing,
Great.
and we go to Chico, and oh my God, they kicked the crap out of us that weekend. It wasn't, and yeah, it was bad. It was like the D2 home run derby for them. And in the very first game of the 4-game series, they had a giveaway of if any Chico State baseball player hits a home run, the entire crowd gets a free burger. And they have a pretty good crowd there. Like people show up to watch Chico.
Carl's
baseball.
Jr.
Carl's Jr., yeah. Carl, well, it was the last one for the weekend because the first pitch of the inning cleared the scoreboard. And I believe they hit probably like 10 more of those. And I think the whole team at one point was looking in the dugout like, is Desi gonna go get all our coupons for dinner tonight? Like, is that gonna be our dinner? Well, he's still there. I guess we got to go to pizza that night, which was any Central alumni listening know how big that was. We even got a pop that night. It was great. God, that was
everything's gotten better. It's a great experience at Central. Everyone should attend there.
Right.
Nothing bad going on at Central Washington. Yeah, everything's good.
Everything's awesome.
Awesome.
Now, yeah, it was not good that year.
I remember them going back to back, and I was a bench guy. It was my junior year. I didn't play a ton, but I remember they went back to back, and it's like, well, I'm gonna watch through this. I better get myself a free burger. Nobody felt like you're like the fifth grader in class, so you raise your hand like, "Can I go to the bathroom? Go get my burger now?" Yeah.
They didn't run like a first and third play with the train going on.
The train.
Like, hey, there's a train. Train's coming by. Like automatic first and third play. Like. Like we had that in our scouting report. It was like, hey, like if we get a weird situation, like situational baseball, and the train goes off, like just expect a safety, expect something funky, like, hey, like the train's going off, like, like, hey, you can't hear defense talking, like, hey, there's a safety coming, like it's fine, like it's fine, like the fact that we practiced that at UC San Diego that you're like, train play. It was like first base is crashing, guy hits a bomb. It's like
I remember UNLV had the same thing with the airplanes, right? Because they're right in the flight path there.
Yeah.
Like I remember going there, and that was a big deal. And it probably originated from like the one time that those two worlds collided, right? Like they just happened to have a big play, and there happened to be a train coming by. And someone somewhere was like, they got the train play. Watch out for the train play.
Like, hey, crash. Like, bomb. Dang it. And I was just like, every fan here gets a free Carl's Jr. cheeseburger. It's like, and our bench guys were sitting there going like, hey, like, Callie, can I get a cheeseburger? Like, it's like,
that sounds kind of good.
I felt so smart for like calling this out, and I was like, "Hey, train! Oh crap!" Like, we didn't have home run on the train play. We didn't have that in our scouting report. Like, hey, if you go out and get one, get me one too, please. Thank you. Like,
make it a double.
Like,
oh, man.
as you're driving by all the frats on the way to the field, and it's just like middle finger, like, we'll be there. You guys suck. It's like, we're top 10 in the country. You're top 10 in the country. We feel good about ourselves. Like, we don't. It's fine. Like, the Make-A-Wish Day did not make us feel good about ourselves. Like, first year dealing with Chico, I was like, this is a whole new experience. Like, I'm crying. Like, little girl's excited to go to Disneyland, and yeah, we just got whacked. Like, this is fun. Like, I mean, at least you guys had a hotel. Like, I know, like, before Concordia got shut down, like, they went down there and played one year. Rob Vance story for everybody in this group that knows him. Like, they showed up and they're like, yeah, like the hotel fell through. We'll find you guys a place to stay.
Let's play too.
Like, Rob Vance is calling me like, this is BS. Like, you ever had I was like, I don't know, man. You picked them to play first weekend of the year. I don't know what to tell me. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, the CAA has no bars held versus the GNAC. Sorry.
Oh, man.
How
any
are you
parting
guys,
words
though?
for us? Well, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is good.
We got
Life is good.
Sleepless Kelly.
Hey, new daddy.
That's right.
Yeah. Sleepless wife. Yeah, I'm just the support here.
Hey,
Thank you.
on
Thank
behalf
you.
of the new guys, congrats,
Yep.
Kelly. Like,
Thank you.
That's right.
Papa.
Stop.
I killed the man. I don't sleep anymore.
Coach Copple, how are we feeling about the George Fox roster this year? You guys ready to roll?
Yeah, we'll go tomorrow, and tomorrow will be our first day, and see where we're at. Yeah, like
Love it.
excited by the group. They've worked their butt off. So yeah, now we'll see if we're any good at baseball. But yeah, very, very optimistic, very excited. I mean, we open up a week from today, or a month from today, in down in Southern California at probably a top 20 Kowloon team. So it'll be a lot of fun. But like the group, ready to get going. So
Live streams for that, people that can tune in, watch it.
I believe the Skyac does Flow Sports.
Okay.
So not a fan, but yeah, live streams available for that. The only, I think we'll play week 2. We play down in Arizona at the White Sox facility against North Central from Chicago. So that might be your only one not live stream, since we don't even know what time we're playing yet. We're waiting for the White Sox to set their spring training schedule. So yeah.
As the only guy who's seen George Fox practice this fall, I like it. I like it. Like a lot. Kevin was, kind enough to let me go whack some fungos. Hung out a little bit in the fall, watch the bullpens. I like it. I like where they're going. I'm selfish. Love Kev. Love where they're going. I think I'll hype them up. I think I think the pitching's really good. I think they got a really good shot. So
there you
One
go.
to follow. Pick the clip from Coach Calhoun. Heard it here first. Heard it here first.
Nice.
Love that.
they got a lefty who's okay. They got a lefty who's okay. So
Okay. Just okay. Yeah. Yeah, I might know that lefty. Yep.
hey, didn't jump in the portal. Rode with the horse that got him there. I'm a fan. I mean, I also got to see some players that CJ coached this year at the end of our season. Got to see some guys. Got to see Malcolm Moore. Got to see Drew Bowser, guys that he coached at Stanford. It was awesome. I think that's the coolest thing. Being on the other, on the pro side now, is you get to go see these guys play, and you're watching them play in person, and you're like, hey, I know CJ, and they're like, guy's the best. Hey, I know Kevin, these guys are that guy's the best. The fact that those guys vouch for them in pro ball, they're like, yeah, those are our guys. That's such a cool moment as a coach. I think that's part of the Northwest clique that's unique in regards to our secret society, we call it. It's hey, the Northwest Mafia. It's hey, you played for CJ. Hey, you played for Kevin. Those guys how do you know them? It's we go back. It's they love it. They love it. We love it. I think it's it's a cool moment in coaching. I sent CJ a picture of me and Drew Bowser after a game, and I'm like, hey, you know this guy? She's like, yeah, I've heard of him. He's okay. Whatever.
Well, before we let you guys leave, Jeff, just hearing you talk, did Campbell give you the accent, or did the Astros hand that to you?
What are you talking about? What accent? Hi, Kelly. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You got that southern drawl now.
The best is we did a farewell, hey, goodbye to our fans, and my family saw it. My mom responded to me and was like, hey, where'd this southern twang come from? What is this? I was like, the pride of Snohomish, Washington. I don't know, man. It's probably from me speaking Spanish so much, to be honest with you. We had at one point in time this year, 24 or 28 players were Spanish first, and all of a sudden it's hey, let me teach you some American English in the South. Let me teach you how to do that. Let me teach you how to do that.
It's getting stronger.
Like, I think Kev had an over-under. Kev, how long was the over-under? Like,
Originally we put it at 2.5 weeks because how impressionable you are.
Joke's on everybody. Like, CJ knows this. Like, I hammered the over. Like, life's too short to take the under. So, like, as CJ knew at his wedding, it was like, hey, like, how long would I survive at Biola? Like, 2.5 weeks. Took the over. You know, the over-under was 13 and a half days. Made it 3 years. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think we did a good job. Overachiever for sure, Kev. For sure.
Overachiever.
Like,
Love that about you.
Hey, how about the fact that we're just nonchalantly going over this? Like, CJ got married. Congrats,
Hey,
Steve. Like,
BJ. How is it, buddy?
The exact same.
You got cats now, though.
yeah, you got
Again, family cats.
Copy.
I might let them out.
Snug it
CJ,
down.
I got a
Yeah,
farm
so-
right next to me. If you want me to let them loose, like, you could just send them to me. We'll let them loose for a little bit, see how it goes. Like, it's fine. There's some deer on the road right now. It's fine. Like, if you need to let me borrow them, you know,
Perfect. Yeah, I like that arrangement.
We
they
started with
might
our
not come
first guest.
back, but they're borred. It's fine. Like,
Our first guest was watching The Hangover, talking about letting the dogs out, and now we're talking about letting the cats out. Full circle. Full
That's
circle.
who was your first guest?
Kevin Agnew.
Coach Kevin Agnew, Pullman High School.
Yeah, he's not as cool as the three of us, that's for sure. So, like, call a spade here, buddy. Like,
You pro guys, you just say what you want.
Yeah.
You're not even afraid about nothing.
Kevin's here. Kevin's
Don't
not a
lump-
pro guy.
don't lump- don't lump this in
Whoa, like, don't
lump this
clump
in.
Kevin into that. Like,
I'm not.
I
Don't
will
lump,
say,
don't lump Kevin and or myself into that.
I will say our best intro that never made air was last season when Jeff and CJ came on, and I can't
Yep.
say it because I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
I can't. It's fine. Like, you know, hey, like, I still got the garbage bag. I still got the
Okay.
garbage bin here.
Okay, good.
Fine.
So we'll let your imaginations run with that one, there,
Hey,
listeners.
listen, like, year two, like,
We're good now with the fly.
hey, you know, like, as the only pro guy who's with an organization that made the playoffs, like, CJ couldn't talk about it, but, like, you know, I mean, I think for us, like, you know, the you know, teach their own. I mean, I think the trades this offseason were interesting. Like, again, like, we're excited about it. Like, we're excited as an organization, like, kind of resetting, for lack of terms. Like, you know, I mean, it'll be fun. I mean, for me in AA, like, I get to coach Cam Smith. Like, Cam is a really exciting player that we're getting to coach from the Cubs. Like, I mean, Cam, we were fortunate enough to not coach against him. Like, the week before we got there, he had 7 home runs in 7 days. So we're really excited to have him on our team. So Cam is, like, he's great. Like, he's been great this offseason. Like, he, you know, we're bummed we're going to lose Tuck, but 3 players for Tuck, like, we're pretty excited about. So, you know,
Awesome.
if you want me to go there, Kelly, like, we can go there. So
Go there. No, we're good.
we're not.
Well,
we're not as
If
electric as
if
Pullman
anyone
High
if
School,
anyone
but,
is
like,
that if anyone's at spring training and they want to seek you guys out, where can they find you?
yeah, CJ, where can we find you in spring training?
Fort Myers, Florida. In the cages for hours.
Thank you for clarifying where we can find you in spring training.
Yeah, you seek them out, give them a handshake, high five, and get a baseball out of the deal. You never know, you know.
Dude, I'll tell you this. I do so like during BP throughout the day, baseballs get hit like over the backfield fences. And I'll go, you know, on a walk at the end of the day, just like phone calls, whatever, pick up a bunch of balls, and I'll always save like a handful of them And as people are leaving like the big league spring training games, they've got these golf carts with people just sitting all over, piled in all over them to get rides all over. And I'll just like lob baseballs to people or try and hit them on like deep fade routes and give them a souvenir on their way out of the stadium. But yeah, you never know. You stop by. I always try and just like give baseballs out because I remember we all remember being young, and regardless of whether I'm a minor league coach or in some kid's mind a big leaguer, they're pumped about the opportunity, because you have no idea. So yeah, stop by. You never know.
We do have a listener question. Does CJ play for the Twins? CJ, what's your title?
No, minor league hitting coach. I just have a big league beard, so
It's glorious.
minor league hitting coach. But that made my day right there.
Drop bombs.
I'm similar to CJ. I try to collect baseballs and give them out to kids at camp for us. We're in West Palm Beach or on the other side of Florida. Florida for CJ is on the Gulf. We're on the ocean side. Like I try to give, like, again, same as CJ. It's like, I know I never got to go to spring training as a kid. So anytime I can get a kid a baseball, like, I'm in on that. Like, I think it's awesome. Like, again, I'm not as much of a fan of like the adults trying to get autographs, but the kids, it's like they're there on spring break. Like, what a cool experience for them to be able to get a ball. Like, any chance I get, I can give them a ball. So same even in the minor, like even during the season, it's like, hey, like whenever I can get you a ball, I'll get you a ball. So, not as big time beard as CJ, but rookie ball beard. I'm that guy.
Coach Cobb, any opportunities for the kids at a George Fox game? Do you guys do a little league day or anything like that? Anything for the kids to check out? EP early, anything like that?
Great venue to come watch games. The hill up on top and the grass area to run around a little bit. Nothing we've really done. We do most of our youth stuff that we do is mostly community stuff. So, but yeah, love to get people out and hopefully we'll get some good weather this spring to watch some baseball.
Love that.
I love it, man.
I'm more upset that I'm gonna be in Arizona the week before Koppel gets there. So, like, I'm really upset that I'm gonna miss Kevin for his games as a fan. Because of spring training, I'm gonna miss him by a week. So pretty bummed. I tried to get Kevin to change the schedule, but he wouldn't change it. It's fine. So whatever. Like, he just doesn't want fans of his game. It's fine. Whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, how's life not coaching going?
Oh yeah.
I've had a titch of envy lately, thinking about like how close a lot of the schools are to be playing games, right? But like life happens and things change, and I'm around great people. We just had, and it sounds weird, right? Like it's not a gloat or a brag by any means, but spent time at our indoor tournament this last weekend, which I've never been a part of an indoor baseball tournament before, right? And there was teams from 9U to 12U playing indoors down at Centralia at the hub. But there's a different joy in the game, right? You can see where we all started, and I just thought of like being a kid that age, of like how cool it would be to be a part of something like that, right? Like, yeah, we played backyard baseball, and who knows how much that exists still. We hope that it does, like at the local schools and whatnot. But just being a part of some of that stuff and start to plan some of our trip events and everything else we got going on, and I still have the same relationship group too. I'm talking to anyone that we've had on this podcast or anyone in our coaching circles now to help them make their programs better in a different way, and share some of the players that I'm around and to be a part of. So it doesn't really change what your relationships are, which is great, but the competitive piece is definitely what's going to be lacking here soon. So why I say how we're to find you guys or where the live streams are is because, like, I'm asking for myself. Like, if I really get tired of this thing, where can I go find you guys and check out on my boys as they get going for battle? So,
Eric, JJ, how's your guys' group looking? Like, again, like we came on late, so like fill us in. Like, obviously, like we've all been on the pod. We know who you guys are, but like obviously we haven't been listening in for the last hour and a half. Like, how are we looking? Like that's the question. Like, how are we looking?
Jason, you want to go first?
Go ahead, Eric.
I mean,
You got
Jason's
it.
off of back-to-back state championships at Tri-Cities Prep for the 2B, so and our road goes through TCP to get there. But I'm excited for our guys this year, man. I'm excited. We only graduated one guy last year. We're super young. We got some baseball guys, and for a small 2B school like us, it's really exciting, right? Like, it's gonna be it'll be a fun year for the Coyotes. If I'm excited to be coaching some juniors and a few seniors, right? Not just all freshmen and some eighth graders for us, but don't have the Tri-City Prep Jaguars on the schedule. Hopefully we see them at the end of the district tournament in a pretty important game. That'd be pretty great. And no, I can't wait, man. I'm this kind of, I don't know if this is a good thing to say or not live, but I haven't been this excited to go into a season since probably my first year as a head coach. So I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, we're looking good. We'll see what comes of it. Looking forward to playing Kittitas again, and we'll see what happens there. Of course.
When is
I say it?
Going to take place? When is that game? When is that game taking place?
It will happen in the district championship.
Hope so.
Hopefully championship, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Eric?
Right.
It will be the second weekend of May.
Mhm.
Isn't that correct?
Something
I think
like that,
whatever date that is. So this will be in. Do we have is it up north, right? Your area, right? Yakima, I think.
Yep.
Possibly.
Yep.
Probably be in Yakima this year
We
because
haven't-
last year we held it down here.
Let's be
So
honest.
Tri-Cities.
They don't
call
even know
that-
how
we
many
call
teams
that
we're in
north.
the state.
So it'll be on the north side. Yeah. So so get your tickets now. It's going to be a
The battle for
barn
the
burner.
Fungo
I know
Banter.
Kelly's going to be there. We kind of have
I'll make it work.
we have some wagering going on, so we'll see all how this plays out. But guys, if you should be able to, well, depends our location.
Yeah.
You'll be able to live stream our stuff on NFHS, and we're gonna get a couple of games on live. We got a local broadcasting company here in town that has done some games in the past, and they're gonna do some of that for us this year again. So, which is pretty cool. So yeah. See what happens. Pretty exciting. It's always enjoyable coaching emotional high schoolers, young men that come to practice and like, I swear 30 minutes ago you were happy go lucky and now you're crying because you can't find your cell phone or you just got a text from your girlfriend that says she's dumping you or some
Oh my God.
whatever.
I swear, man, you need to have a girlfriend meeting come playoff time. Like, hey, if you're thinking about it, don't. Let's wait till the season's over. If you're going to break up with them, I know prom probably just happened. Maybe you want the other date, but, it's for the program. Don't do it. Don't break up with them. We got bigger things here than seriously.
So last year we decided to do a media day, which I'm like, all right, we're high school. We don't really need to do this, but yeah, we had some guys that were really into it. They were like all jazzed out. They got all their stuff. They had their poses going on. They got all their different posters made. Yep, exactly. That's right, Calhoun. That's right. Cowboy hats.
Bo
Oakleys.
Jackson.
Oh yeah, we got the works. It was all pulling out. Had to finish practice a little early so they could get their media day in. It's like, anything you can do to please a high school baseball player nowadays. They all think they're playing for the Twins, I think,
That's
or
right.
something. I don't know.
Probably the Twins.
Pretty boys.
Not making the playoffs, yeah, for sure. Like, I mean,
You gotta look good.
Like Kevin's got the bigger issue because they all show up to him, so it's like,
Yeah, they
Like-
go through him first.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, Kev, like, can you get these guys dialed in or, like, and the best part is for us, like, if they get picked by us, I don't know how CJ is. I'll let CJ talk to it. like in our internal system, they will post a picture of them from high school, like Jason, or they will post a picture from when they're at George Fox of them on a media day, like, and it's like that's their picture until they do something for us, and it's like, hey, who's this guy? Like, that guy. Got it. Okay. And usually we print it out. We'll put it on a lineup card. Like, hey, this guy's playing third base today. Like, and it's like,
Yeah, it's time at TCP.
That's
like,
right.
my girlfriend dumped me yesterday. Like, like it's like,
Oh, they go to Koppel and they're like, first question, hey coach, when's media day?
Pretty much, and it's January 27th, actually.
can't wait to be there. Can't wait to be there. It'd be a great time. Great time. Like,
I gotta get a haircut, coach. Can I leave a little earlier today?
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
gotta get the jam. You know?
I will say, like, being in Bowie's Creek still and like listening to Campbell Guys Lift, it's like that was yesterday for them, and that was a conversation multiple times. Like, hey, can we do arm farm? Wait, guy, like, hey, wait, coach, can we do some arm farm? Like, we got media day today. Can we do some arm farm? Like, no.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Yeah. Like,
Oh my
no.
gosh.
Okay. No arm farm. Got it. Like, okay. Like, I gotta go shave my neck beard before I get this shot done. I'm sitting there going like, Jesus Christ. Like,
The best is when you got a game on a weekend of some sort, and the kid tells you, "Hey, coach, can I leave 30 minutes before practice is over?" I said, "Why is that?" He goes, "Because my mom got me set up for a haircut, and I need to go get my cut." You know, and I'm like,
Dude.
"Your cut?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? Just give me a pair of clippers, and I'll cut your hair." Well, no, coach, you got to get the style. You got to get the fade. You got to get the cut. You know,
gotta
it's
get the taper in the back. Gotta get the taper in the back just in case.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, no, you're not leaving 30 minutes before practice or to go get your cut.
Or tuxedo fittings. The week of prom, coach, I got to go get my tux fitted. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Please don't.
Where's the tech shop in Ellensburg, Kittitas? Do they have a tuck shop there?
We got a guy for that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's a men's warehouse somewhere in Kids.
Yeah, we
No.
out back in the back 40. It's actually, it used to be out of a guy's garage. It was pretty awesome. He was a nice guy. He had a TV and a couch set up. You could watch some sports if you went at the right time. He was a great.
I believe it. I
It
believe
was-
it. You're
he
not
was-
lying.
He had a 100%, Mr. Moser. Yeah.
As like, again, Kevin and CJ know this. Like, small town living. Like, my off-season job is to work at a bar, and it's awesome. So like, we literally just got approval a couple of days ago from the town to open the bar on Sunday and do football with coach. So I open the bar an hour before the first game, closes an hour after the game ends on whatever second or third game. And it's like, yeah, just come in and talk shop. Like, come talk sports with coach. Like, I will make fun of whatever team you want. I will compliment whatever team you want. Like, oh, the Eagles are playing? Cool. Like, hey, man, like, I will talk all shit, no demand, about the Eagles. Like, it's like, and they're like, oh, what's your team? I was like, Seahawks. Like, whatever, dude. Like, it's fine. We just fired off as a coordinator. Like, no big deal. Like, CJ and I have talked about this at length. It's like probably the right move. Like, right move. Like, get rid of Gino. It's fine. Like, we'll talk through this. Like, this is a different podcast than what we're talking about right now. That's the later podcast with Kelly of like what the Seahawks should do. It's fine. Like, you know, but the fact that like similar to you, Eric, it's like, hey, like, yeah, come on in. Like, we'll get you fitted. Get you like watch some TV.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's like, hey man, come get a pizza.
Yeah.
I'll make fun of your team. It's fine. Like,
It's perfect.
I'm good at that. Like,
Yeah.
hey, like, you're a Redskins or sorry, Guardians fan. Like, I'll make fun of them. It's fine. Like,
I love it.
can't pick a team name. It's fine. All right, Kelly, mute me. We're good. So,
Oh, man. All right.
well, hey, good luck to you guys this year.
Appreciate you too.
Good luck to you all.
Hey,
Thanks
make
for
sure
doing
Kelly.
this.
Make sure Kelly puts you guys on the live stream.
Yeah.
We'll have odds. It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
there won't be gambling on this, but like, you know,
There'll be some over-unders.
there'll be pride. There'll be pride on
Yeah.
the line, so it's fine.
The back, whatever, the black market of the Tri-Cities Prep Kittitas game.
No black market. No black market. Like it'll be the Kelly line. Kelly will
Reddit.
set a line.
Hey, as long
We'll
as
figure
It's
it
on
out.
Reddit.
as long as he's in the outfield with a camcorder zooming in on Jason Signs with like a thing next to him to let me know, we'll be fine.
Yeah. It's like, oh, is that what he does with runners in second? Got it. Okay, cool. Thanks, Kel. Like,
This old school camcorder on his shoulder up there.
Yeah.
My
who's that
my
guy
side hustle is being a recruiter against a traveling scout,
He's a
advanced
2B spy.
scouting high school teams.
Desi's out there like, hey, can you go look at these guys for me? Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Koppel's like, hey, seriously though, like, let me know if this guy's any good though. Seriously though, thanks.
Oh, man.
You gotta either have to pick between Desi and Kopp. It's fine. No big deal. Like,
No comment.
We better get off here before someone gets in trouble.
Yeah.
Thank you three for taking time
Thanks,
tonight to
fellas.
come drop in on our episode tonight.
Anytime. Anytime. You guys
Guys.
do that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Take care.
Have a good
DJ, I'll
night.
see you in Florida.
God willing.
If you fly
Get
there
on the right
safely.
plane.
Well, now we got those guys out of here. Now we can actually talk.
Oh my god, that was awesome.
Holy cow. Oh, man.
That's gonna be a hard one to follow, guys.
Backstage. I was gonna put him back in.
Hey, wait, you're not done.
Oh.
Get back in here. We got a couple more questions.
We should ask for some final questions though. Just if you don't want them live, just let us know. But
Yeah.
we don't have to put your handle
Seriously,
live. But
we
if
got-
you got something for us,
We're getting close to that 300 number up there. So let's shoot us some questions on the chat. Maybe you guys
Yeah.
got a couple questions you want
Hey,
to
we're back.
Yes. They got again. Oh. Oh gosh. But seriously, listeners, there's a chat button off there to the right. Please write in. He's
he's still
man.
back there.
we can
There's
do
a
that.
backstage.
Let's do Jeff Calhoun question of the night. What's
You
that?
know-
What's your question, Jeff?
Whatever you want, like any answer, any question.
Ask
Oh,
No. Again, like it's
listener question from Coach Calhoun.
12:40 at night out here on the East Coast, man. Whatever you need.
That's when it's the prime time for the Jeff Calhoun show. 12
Shoot,
o'clock.
man. Like, hey, listen, I'm just here to hype you guys up. Like, how can I hype you guys up? Like, I'm wearing CJ's Stanford shirt. Like, I'm here for the people.
We'll
like,
get-
if I had a Kittitas shirt, I'd wear that. It's fine.
We'll
Like,
get a box
whatever.
out.
Like, I haven't gotten that.
Oh,
I got lost in the mail. It's fine. Like,
It
whatever,
was-
dude. It's fine. Like,
It's waiting for you in
man.
Florida. Sorry.
hey, the best is I will wear whatever shirt gets sent to me to our lifting session as coaches. And like, what is that?
They're
And I'm
gonna
like, oh, dude, you don't know Snohomish High School? Like,
if you wear a Kittitas shirt to that, they're gonna say, "What's a Kittitas? Is that a
you gotta ask,
disease?"
can't
or-
afford it. Everybody knows. Like,
That's right. Like, it's a great place. I don't know.
hey, man, like, you don't vacation there? Like,
You got a great bar.
Yeah,
I'll be like-
he's got tuxedos in a garage.
That's
I
I
know.
know.
You're
You're
like,
welcome.
For a wedding.
I don't know. My
Great.
Jesus wears tuxedo t-shirts. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
like, it's fine. Like, whatever. Like,
Oh, man.
but Kelly, like, how's your new gig? Fill us in.
I did. We've done this before.
Not with us. Not with the pro guys. Fill us in.
Were you not on like 12 minutes ago? 2 minutes ago?
I mean, not as much as Eric is laughing and falling off the stool, but like,
Jeff, you got a chance to ask us a final question. What's your final
Oh,
question?
I don't know. Final question. Like, I got my questions answered by Eric and JJ. Like, it's fine. Like,
Oh, man.
Kelly can't answer my question because he's not a coach, so it's fine.
Oh, doing it.
The Jeff Calhoun show.
Yeah, welcome. After hours.
Hey, where's my PNW Fungo t-shirt? Like, where's that? Like, I'll wear that to
Florida.
the weight room.
Oh, man.
And they're like, who, what? They're like, you've never listened to this show?
Jeff, last question. Ask the question.
Eric, what's the hat? JJ, what's the hat? Fill me in.
Tacoma Rainiers. It's a fish. I don't know what their motivation was, but you know what? It looked kind of cool. It's a fish leaning on a bat.
I like it.
Washington State Coaches Association. Yeah.
All right.
It's kind of a little promo for our upcoming clinic here in Ellensburg. Staying at
Jeff, are you with USA Baseball?
Yeah.
I've done a lot of stuff with them, yes.
Nice.
JJ, who's your favorite guy that you're looking forward to speak at, or hear and speak at that?
Honestly, I'm honestly looking forward to seeing a good friend of mine, Kim Cox. He was kind of a mentor when I came in, and so he's he's going to speak actually on the Hall of Fame panel, and then he's our intro guy, right?
He's our keynote, the first guy of the night.
Keynote speaker, no, it's gonna be pretty cool. Actually, getting over there. Hopefully, Kelly, are you going? You coming?
Maybe.
If
I'm
he
a
comes,
soft maybe.
If he shows up, we're doing a live show. We got a listener question for you, Jeff.
Oh, here we go, Jeff.
Can you read that?
People have questions for you.
Jeez, who's the PNW college baseball report? That's
He's
a real
awesome.
question.
He's awesome, man. He's got
It's a great follow.
Yeah.
Get him with the follow. He's
Right
the
now,
best
get your
coverage
phone
of,
out.
of college
Yeah, who's that?
baseball.
Who's that though? Who is that?
Best
He's an alias, man. He's just
Yeah, he's a good. Well, he had
out there.
David with his name last time. So yeah, his first name's David. There,
For you-
but he's solid.
for you living on the East
Yep.
Coast. It's going to keep you connected. You probably should go follow.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean,
You see the question? What's your best JUCO story from a Skagit?
Oh man. Like, there's a couple that I go back to, like, a couple of them involve like bench clearing brawls, but like I'd rather not bring those up. Like, one at Yakima, which is great, like all timer. I'll go with that one. Like, we cleared with Yakima my first year there, 2010. And like benches clear, end of a weekend, and like our coaches got into it with their coaches. Like, I played for Kevin Matthews my first year. Like, Kevin Matthews is a guy, I think he's still at Anacortes maybe now. Like, again, he'll never watch this because he's old school, man. Like, he's a guy that still scares the crap out of me. Like, I am deathly afraid of Kevin Matthews. Like, that is a guy that scares the bejeebers out of me. We cleared, and when we cleared, he ended up in the other coach's face at Yakima. Like, he was trying to fight the other coach. And so that continued our fight. Like, players came off the bench with bats, players came off the benches with cleats in hand. Like, it was a disaster. Like, they called the game, ended the game, and we go eat. I think we ate at like a McDonald's or something in Yakima on the way out of town. And our bench coach is still like locked in, like, hey, like, calm down, like trying to calm us all down. And he ended up being the director of student development at Skagit now. And I remember getting it. I looked at him, I was like, get on my face, Murph. Like, I was like still in ultimate fight mode. And it was like, I'm just trying to order a double cheeseburger. Like, it was like just, again, like, it was like, we got into it. We come back the next week, go to practice, and like Coach Matthews is sitting there. He looks at us, he's like, hey, we don't start things. Like, we're LC State style. He came from LC State. We don't start it, but we'll finish it. Whenever anybody wants us to finish it, we will end it. And it was like, yeah, like, I feel great. Like, I tried to fight some dude and no one stopped me. And it was like, it's one of those stories that, like, when you go back in time and you're trying to explain to players in pro ball, like, hey, like, clearing benches and 10 to 12 years ago, just how different baseball's gotten. It's like, we cleared on the 4th of July this year, and our catcher cleared it and played the plate. And I took my sweet time to get out there. I was like, nothing's going to happen. Like you can read the room, like, nothing's going to happen.
Mhm.
And I get him. I'm like, hey, like, Via. Like, his name's Ansel Villarreal. I'm like, hey, Via, like, what are we doing? And he's like, he slapped my hand. He slapped my hand. I'm like, dude, it's fine. Like, whatever, dude. Like, it's no big deal. Like, he ain't going to do anything. Like, he's not going to do anything. It's the 4th of July. And we end up losing. We're walking out the field, and this lady's yelling at our players, and she's letting us have it. Like, every curse word known to man, like, yelling at the players. And I was like, whatever. Like, no big deal. And then finally she starts yelling at me. And I look at her, and I was like, you know these players don't know what you're saying. That was the most humbling moment of that woman's life. Of like, what do you mean they don't know what I'm saying? Like, we got 24 or 28 guys that don't speak English. Like, you're yelling at them, and they think you're cheering them on. Like, they don't know. And they're like, like, gracias, señora. But like, gracias. It's like, no big deal. Yeah. And I joke with CJ, like, he's been, like, again, like, he's off the air now, but, like, he's been ejected more than I have. Like, he got ejected twice this year. I'm still 0 times in my career. So, you know, learn that from Skagit. Like, how do you toe the line without getting ejected? So that was Coach Matthews to a T, man. Like, played for him on the Bells. Got in a couple bench clearing brawls. One of them's on YouTube. It's great. Like, he's the man. Like, but he still scares the crap out of me. I called him once for recruiting. Kelly probably has too. And I was like, hey, coach, like, how are you? Like, I'm 3 years out of this. Like, are you still going to make me run the mountain? I'm sorry. He's like, do you like the kid or not? It's like, Like, I'm just trying to get a cell phone number. Get off the phone, and my boss at Westmont was like, what do you, how'd the call go? I was like, I don't know. I didn't get the number. I'm scared of that guy. You got to call. Like, what do you mean? I was like, Coach Matthews is the scariest human I've ever played for. Like, I'm still scared. Like, if I had to call him right now on behalf of the Astros, like, hey, what do you do this guy? Like, I'd be, hey, coach, like, how are you? I really want to apologize for calling at whatever time of day it is. I'm so sorry. Can I make it up to you somehow? Do you think this player's good? If you don't, please feel free to hang up at any time. Like, it was the most uncomfortable call I've ever had as a coach. Like, not even close. Like, Kelly's probably had something like that recruiting wise, where it's like there's certain guys that are just like, nope, not doing it. For me, it was like, hey, coach, don't yell at me right now. like, sorry for swinging 3-0 on a pitch like 10 years ago. Like, sorry. Like, how's Anacortes High School going? Like, but you guys don't have to worry about them, so it's fine. You guys are good. So.
Awesome. Well, Jeff, thank you, man, so much. It's always
Eric, you can
entertaining
get
when you
like
on.
just kick me off. It's fine. Whatever, it's fine.
No, I just wanted to say thank you. Appreciate it.
Kelly's trying to get me off the air. It's fine.
Oh, man.
I will have that shirt in the mail end of the week.
I'll send you. I will text you guys.
Yep.
I'll text you an address.
Yep.
Like, our clubbies in Florida will be like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
I'll be like, don't worry about it. Just put it in my locker. Don't worry about it. Like, it's fine. Like,
Team meetings, walking in,
Yeah.
swagging it out.
The hell's a PNW?
and I'll be just speaking Spanish all the time. Like, ¿tú sabes quitas? ¿Tú sabes quitas? And they'll be like,
Sí.
no sé, papi, no sé. Like, ¿qué es esto? ¿Qué es esto? It's like, quitas. All right, JJ,
Thanks,
no offense, but I'll
Jeff.
be wearing the kid test. See you later.
No, you're good, bud. All right, see you, Jeff.
Bye.
Appreciate you.
Always entertaining. Boys, how are we gonna wrap this thing up? You guys got a couple questions?
I don't. We got some listeners. Yeah. We still have to ask. Jason, do you have your questions? You can go next. You have your questions for
Boy.
the gang.
I did, and I'm. Oh man, this has been a fun night.
This has
I
been
think I don't
awesome.
even have to worry about doing my ab sit-ups before going to bed at all. You know,
No.
so much, man. It's been good.
Chat's
I
still
did
open.
get
Please let us know where you're watching from. That
I
would be
did get
awesome to
a
see.
text when the boys were saying free baseballs from my son. You said, I would like a free baseball.
Yeah. CJ.
So Jackson wants a free
Now we're
baseball.
talking.
So,
Make
anyways,
that happen.
yeah. Uh, probably what was or has been, I guess. I mean, being that you guys were both head coaches, what was probably the hardest situation or challenge that you faced in your time, Kelly, and then as where you're at today, Eric, as a head coach? Was that more, the first day on the job situation? Was it a particular situation where a student or a parent or administrator? I mean, you don't have to go. I don't want anybody name drops or get anybody in trouble, but sometimes we as coaches always want to talk about the good things, and sometimes we don't really, especially as men, we don't share much of the hardships that we go through that make us better. And I think through hardships, it grows us into the individuals who we are. And maybe that was getting lit up because you did a chump move on a particular team, or the way you communicated to a player. So throw it at you guys.
Kelly, you got one?
I mean, there's always difficult things you deal with. The number one thing is the loss of life, and not to take this a bad turn, but it was 18 with Ken Garland passing, and being an assistant, and being 29 years old, and having to be the kind of the leader and the compassionate. I never been in that position before. You're not prepared for it. Dealing with that, with emotions of kids and your own, and not knowing how to be, and it helps you grow up and gives you perspective. And I think I'm fortunate for everything to be a part of, but um, that was really tough, and it stays with us. And I don't know if it's publicly announced yet, and I don't know if I'm in the position to announce it yet, but for anyone on here, he is being inducted into the St. Martin's Hall of Fame this year, in March, and I'm sure there's more details are going to come out from that. And so having an opportunity to finally celebrate that properly, with everyone, is going to be awesome. So yeah, that was tough. I mean, everything else is life, whether that's grades or kids dealing with the same stuff that we all deal with, and that's being a coach, right? Is dealing with problems and issues, and the right stuff for that. But a couple ads passing away as well. I think that's tough to be a part of. And um, you know, I think it's a case where us as coaches, and you get an opportunity to be around a lot of different people, in this deal that you wouldn't have an opportunity with if you were just worked a job, a 9 to 5, and went home. And there's nothing wrong with that by any means, but as coaches, you put in front of a lot more people than you would in other walks of life. So it's a blessing. At the same time, there's stuff that you deal with from it. And yeah, so that was definitely the hardest parts, for sure.
Man, that's a hard question, Jason. As Kelly talked, I got to think, loss of life. I had 3 players. One was a bat boy, and 2 players that was after they played. It was after they were had already graduated. That was hard going to that. I think the one thing that I keep going back to this one year, and I don't remember exactly what year. You probably might even, but man, we just had an ultimate week of stuff that went wrong within with kids were having issues or whatnot. And I can't even remember the specifics of that. We go from having a district tournament and having so many seeds of the state to getting or finding out the day before, hey, by the way, tomorrow's a loser out game. Things that you can't control. And we were always preaching that, but it was like when things you can't control and there's like this whole dump truck load of them get dumped on you in like 2 days. And then you're heading to that playoff game and you're dealing with all that. And all of a sudden you get a text from the principal, I need to see you. And they're like, oh my God. Like, I wasn't prepared to deal with that. I am better off with that now. Dealing with just dealing with kids and like making sure that not one bad egg ruins the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. I've let that happen once. And I let it, and the second time I let it happen for a little bit and then we stopped it. But, Coach Seats talked in early one of our episodes is putting the program number one. That was learning that. Gosh, I think that's my two that I keep going back to. It's been 11 years now and I'm forgetting so much from the year 1, 2. Like, I'm sure there's something, and I'm sure I got some coaches that'll be texting me on that. That wasn't a good answer. Sorry, Jason.
No, that's solid. Actually, I kind of do vaguely remember that, Eric. You kind of got hit hard.
And we lost a game
load.
we shouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like, I don't know. It was like 2019.
It was
somewhere in there.
year before COVID. Yeah.
I think it was, but that is the reality of
dealing with COVID. Was not prepared for that and having to look 6 seniors in the eye saying, sorry, you're never going to get to play a baseball game again. Yeah. That was hard.
I do think about that, you guys, but look at what has become through it. Mm-hmm. You saw a massive, you could say a detriment to the game, right? Kelly, you guys were on rocking and rolling with your season in 2020. You guys had a good start, and you don't know what could have come of it, but we were fully loaded, ready to go back again. But those things, you think about the podcast getting started through that, you think about all the other, just the people in your life. I mean, Eric, I think what you've done with our association, with Kevin and Brian and getting, these clinics going and all these other things. I mean, just all those little pieces that add up to the big picture of what baseball is all about. And I think that, sometimes it's just, you don't understand why at the moment, but then it's like, okay. And you look back and you're like, all right, I'll take it, So yeah, no, I think that was a good response from both of you. That was solid. So.
All right, Kelly, you shooting from the hip?
The first one was for you. It wasn't really hip. I thought of this one. Tell everyone about your last weekend of college baseball.
Man. First off, I absolutely loved my time at Central Washington University. I still absolutely love being an alumni.
Supporter, donor, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, yep. Man. Like, I'm ready to start the NIL deal for Central right now so we can have some football, basketball, and baseball teams going, right? Like, I was so happy that I got to play there. The little bit I was able to was put in the game, I guess. But we had, but saying that, I should have went to Billings because, man, when we went to Billings, I hit the crap out of the baseball when we went there. We senior season didn't play a lot. Turns out I probably should have went to the eye doctor because I got glasses the next year and I played in the alumni game and I saw the baseball again. It was pretty cool. But for some reason,
like, where was that?
No, I actually hit a bomb as an alumni. I'm like, God dang, man! Like, what did I do wrong here? We go to Billings. Probably one of the only guys on the team excited to go to Montana, except for Burnett. I think he was on the team that he was from Montana, and played in minor league park, Dueler Park, right? Is that the name of it? Man, this is how much I played my senior year. My batting average jumped over 100 points in that day. It was awesome. Hit a couple home runs. I was a triple away from the cycle, and Desi stopped me, and I should have said screw it and ran through it because what was he going to do? Cut me like it was the last day? Yeah. I think I had all this. My last story about this one because, man, I hit a ball almost into the parking lot that day. My very last at bat, and I thought it was my last at bat, and I was like, I kept to myself, kind of. I got a hit. Well, then we got a few. Our lineup got going. It turned it back over, and it came up to where like, okay, this is going to be my last at bat ever. And I've got in the box and I did my routine. I kind of stopped when I looked at the catcher and the umpire. I said, I kind of had a tear in my eye. I go, man, this is my last at bat I'll ever have in my life that's competitive. And the catcher looked at me and goes, oh my God, that's sad. Which was a great idea because I got a fastball down the middle, man. I hit a ball into the gap. But I remember having that moment of like, and it was like, they talk about your life flashing before. It was like your baseball life flashing before your eyes of all my little league days, the high school and the college was able to do. And yeah, that was cool because if I wouldn't have gone to Central, I wouldn't probably know Kelly. So worked out.
Yeah.
Sorry for you for that. I struck out in my last at bat of that week, that game. Swinging. I always tell people that I struck out swinging in my last at bat.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I guess, and then Jason, I guess my question for you and all the success you've had there at Tri-Cities and putting you on the spot here a little bit, but how do you keep that fulfillment of coaching, having reached that pinnacle back to back now, and not that you don't like your job or anything future, but have you ever thought of things outside of where you're at and and growing this to something else? But I guess that the main question is how do you keep that same excitement and fulfillment, having already accomplished what a lot of people go their whole lives and careers not being able to do?
Right. He's basically trying to find out, Eric, when am I stepping away from prep?
Nope.
No, Kelly, that's a great question. On the fulfillment part of it, it's the energy of the kids that keeps me going. I mean, I literally look at guys I've coached for 40 years, so we just had the ABCA 2 weekends ago, right? And Eric, I think you did live stream. Kelly, I don't know if you were part of that, if you still couldn't watch, but I did live stream a part of it and it was pretty cool. And I'm listening to these coaches who've coached for multiple years and they're up there in their ages. And I think you can just see the passion, the drive for it's just the people energize them, and kids energize me as much as sometimes they can be a pain. Just because of all the like, come on, we don't need this drama. But just to see you as a coach empower a kid to say, man, I don't know if I can do this, coach. And you say, yeah, I think you can. And they go out and they perform. That's what my driving force. I think, it's winning's an addiction. It really is. It's like every morning I like to get up and I have a cup of coffee with my wife. It's the way I start my day. And I look at winning is like that. It's not everything, but it is an addiction. I love the feeling what you get. And then after I'm done, I just want more. And I think when you get that first state championship, and I know, Eric, you're going to get it here soon. You will. But the thing is that you get that first one and you're just like, I want more of that. I just want more of that. And so that's kind of the driving force, and that you got to work harder. It's just like staying in shape. That's the hardest part. You get older, the body your metabolism shrinks. You're just like, well, where am I getting this extra belly fat from? It's like, and you got to change your eating habits a little bit, those kind of things. And so you just start to try to figure out ways to how you can stay in shape and be successful, so that's kind of the force on that. On the other side of it, Kelly, on the coaching, on the more, behind closed doors, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things in the potential works in the future. I mean, of course, it's funny that you say that because I just had a close friend of mine ask me that question the other day. He's like, hey, where you at? And I said, well, I take it year by year is where I'm at, and I've had offers in the past. And at that time, I just didn't feel like I was quite ready to move on, and I think those times will come in time, but I think I want to be mature enough and how I can handle people. What I mean by that, like, I don't want to be so brash in my response because, something tips me off, or maybe just the environment I'd be stepping in, and those kind of things. So there's a lot of things, and of course, you have a wife and 3 kids that are fully into sports, and they love all 3 seasons. That's a priority number 1, and Kelly, you're going to experience that here before too long, and Eric, you're literally right behind me, so it's
Not
like
far away.
life changes. So it's a great. It's actually probably sometimes the funnest part is just being involved with your kids' athletics and having the opportunity to coach them. And I tell every dad, like, take that opportunity, because you only have 18 years, and once that 18 years is done, they're out. So it's like, if they're looking for that volunteer basketball coach and you don't know much about basketball, get on YouTube. YouTube can teach you a lot, and ask a lot of questions, and that's the thing. As I was talking, you guys all know a friend of ours, Josh Warner, Baseball Northwest guy, and he was talking about how, just in general, like, if you want to learn something, you just become a student of it. And if you're embarrassed to ask, get on YouTube. They have that channel, CoachTube, and you can pay subscriptions, and their coaches talking about how to do drills and how to, do, properly ground a ball or throw a ball, or how to properly block or shoot a basket, So it's like, you can pretty much watch YouTube how to build a house. So there shouldn't be any excuses for you not stepping in and getting involved with your kids' athletics, especially when we're in a day and age, guys, that we need a lot more quality coaches. We have coaches. There's 2 different types of coaches, right? There's coaches that coach because they care about the kids, and you can have your kids on that team. And I've seen dads and moms that have their kids on the team, and they're good coaches. But then on the opposite side of it, we have coaches that coach for their kid. And that's kind of the sad thing, is that it kind of ruins the game for everybody else, So it's just like, when you do decide to coach for your kids, make sure you're becoming the coach that coaches for everybody else, not just for your child, So
100%. We do have
Love it.
another listener question, Jason. It's a pretty big one. A fellow host of a podcast who's new to the scene. Go check him out on the YouTube. Beyond the Scoreboard.
Oh, yeah.
Perry Black. Jason, when
Yeah.
TCP and Asotin play next year, what's your over-under? 3?
Oh, man. I am looking forward to this, Perry. I got you on my radar. I mean, I was talking to Scotty Parrish the other day, and I said, dude, I know I'm going to see Asotin.
They're good.
Probably, honestly, it's going to be a 1-run game. Again, I just know it. 2019, those dudes beat us against our best guy, Logan Ricardo, which actually I just found out today. He signed a contract to go play independent ball.
All right.
So that's pretty exciting stuff. So he's going to continue on and chase his dream. And so, yeah, those guys go on, beat us 1-0, and they win a state championship. And that was pretty sweet. If anybody is going to win, I want them to win it. And then last year, I think it was 3-1 in our regional game there, first round of state there. And they got a good team, man. Whew.
They'll
So
be
we'll
one
see.
of the ones,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's going to be legit. So that's where I'm at, Perry. I think it's going to be a 2-1, 1-0 scenario. I know you guys are going to be tough. You're going to be doing a lot of stealing, hit and run, just like us, So anyways,
Well, you guys got any more questions? Listeners, you got any more questions before we wrap this thing up? Please go ahead and write it in there. We truly appreciate the people that have. That's awesome. We're at 341 watching.
Hit the like button if you want us to do this again. We can
Yes.
do all our episodes this
let us
way.
know.
That would
Be on our
awesome.
P's and Q's.
I like it. This was kind of fun. Hopefully you guys did you guys enjoy it? Please let us know, because it's going to be good. Let's see. We did 2.
Yeah, I think, like we said earlier before we got on live tonight, guys, I think, for our listeners who are followers and those people who are watching us, I mean, season 6 is going to be pretty cool. Like, we got some really cool things that I know we've all talked about are in the works, and it's going to be neat. And so we're enjoying it, as long as hopefully you guys are too. And yeah, but we definitely appreciate your guys' feedback, because it helps us we don't want to be a boring podcast, and there's a lot of them out there that you can listen to, and it's just people listening to themselves on a hot mic. And but we want content, we want your interaction. I mean, we've talked about doing some different types of panels and maybe bringing a potential parent, umpire, player, that kind of different angle things and that kind of stuff. So, because ultimately we want this to be a tool for you guys when you're in your car or working out or whatever it is, that you guys get on and feel like you're listening and learning something, even if it's a simple, explanation of a drill that a coach does or a way they communicate. I mean, I've learned a lot over the last 5 seasons to become a better coach through this. And so, I credit the show to a lot of our success, I mean, honestly. But yeah, so it if your guys' feedback, and also to when you guys write a review in our, on our iTunes and all that kind of that definitely helps us too. It gets more of us out there into the public eye and gets more listeners. And it's kind of cool when we kind of look back and you see people from back east listening to us. And I don't know if it's people that were out in the Northwest or whatever it is, but it's pretty. We know that the Northwest players and coaches move across the country quite often and are pulled in a lot of different venues. So there is something definitely, we always say, unique about the PNW. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
I love it. It's such a fun thing, man, and all the people that we've gotten to talk to and know over the years, and from all over the people I've never met in person, but yet I could still have some text message conversations as to baseball talk. It's
I mean,
cool.
just like Kelly's story there, a week ago or so, you were telling us a couple weeks ago, Kelly, that guy coming up to you and say, "Hey, heard your podcast," and just, you had no idea who he was, but he knew who you were. And that's kind of, it's humbling. It's like, wow, we are powerful with our words and what gifts that we have here. So let's continue to do it right, and we might be some old 80-year-old guys at one time wearing diapers and drinking bad beer, and who knows, talking podcasts
There's
about
no
the old
bad
days.
beer, Jason. Come on.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So
I mentioned Coach Garland. There's three favorite types of beers of his: free beer, cold beer, and his next beer.
That's the way to end the podcast.
The legend, living legend.
Dang right, man.
So.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you to all the people that
absolutely
hopped on the podcast tonight. I know that the comedy hour was awesome. I love the storytelling from Agnew. And next time we'll line up some more for the next live one. Maybe we'll do one more before the season's over with. Maybe even randomly throughout the summer. But thank you, everybody. Thank you to all listeners watching. Please, if you have anything for us, please reach out. We love conversating with everybody, and fired up that we actually had people watching tonight. That's great. Appreciate you. Love this community in the Pacific Northwest. Guys got anything else?
Yep.
That's it.
No,
Mic
thank
drop.
you for the comments.
Have
Thank
a great
you for
night.
all this stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Take care, everybody.